Hello, welcome to JavaScript introduction. So today we continue from our last class. So in our previous class we discussed about working with HTML, and we saw how we can create website skeletons using HTML. So today we'll continue where we stopped in the class. Hello, Joshua, can you hear me? Okay, I think my recorder is on now. Yeah, so I promised to send assessments, but I didn't let us send it. Uh, yeah. So what I'll do is I didn't. I'll actually send assessments based on what we cover today, and the one we cover, the one we covered. Sorry, Bukola has joined. Hello, Bukola. Hello, Bukola. Okay. Okay. Good afternoon. You can hear us, right? Oh, how are you feeling now? So sorry. Just get better soon. Okay, so actually on Wednesday we discussed about HTML. Yeah, I was introducing JavaScript, so I wanted us to have a feel of what it feels like working with JavaScript and HTML. But we ended up treating only JavaScript. Sorry, we ended up treating only HTML on Wednesday. Okay. So, but today we will touch working with JavaScript and HTML. Okay. So Bukola, you are good with HTML, right? Okay. And Joshua, you also good with HTML. Okay. So Bukola, have you made use of an editor before? Okay. So on Wednesday we actually installed VS Code, Visual Studio Codes, and I don't know. Do you have Visual Studio Code on your system? Okay. So you can install that later. You're using Windows, right? Okay, so what you do is after not now you can go ahead with Sublime Code for this course, for the tutorial we'll be having today for the classes. But after, you can install Visual Studio Code, because that's what we'll be using throughout the whole classes going forward. Okay, so I will share my screen, and we will continue from where we left on Wednesday. Can you all see my screen? You can see my screen now, right? Okay. This was the actual folder we created last Wednesday. So Bukola, do me a favor. On your desktop, you can create a folder. You can call it Intro to JS. Yeah, so create folder, call it Intro JS, for example. You can create that. So you know how to open this with your Sublime Code, right? Okay, so open that folder you created on your Sublime Code. Okay, Joshua, you can do that as well. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That you have that already. No, we just continue from where we left. Yeah. Open it on your subline. You have subline. Open it on subline. A folder. A folder. Just create a folder. Call it JS intro. A folder on your desktop. Have you done that? Okay. You have opened it on subline text, right? Okay. Let me open mine with Visual Studio Code. Mine is coming up. Okay, so Bukola, create a file. Just create a index.js file. Just as you can just create an index.js file. Sorry? Uh, Hello? Sorry, come again. I can't hear you. Hello? Hello, Bukola, can you come again? I can't hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know if it's from my end, but I can't hear you. Okay, have you done that? Okay, so open the file. Okay, so you are familiar with HTML already. So, well, last Wednesday we discussed about some HTML tags. You know, the body, the head, some H1 to HC, some paragraph, and strong, and the span. So we discussed a little bit about HTML last week Wednesday. Okay, but we won't be focusing on HTML now. So we'll jump ahead to writing JavaScript inside HTML. Okay, so at the end of this class, we'll see how we can write JavaScript inside HTML. Then we'll also see how we can write JavaScript aside separately, and we can link it to our HTML. Okay, can you all hear me? Okay, so to write JavaScript inside HTML, all we need to do is create a script tag. You know, so I'll go ahead and create a script tag right here. So this is a script tag. So once you create a script tag, everything you write inside the script tag will be a HTML file. Okay, so then automatically JavaScript will load this file when you open it in your browser. Okay, Joshua. Hello, Joshua. Yeah, you're using VS Code, right? So I want to introduce you to this extension called Live Server, or you have it already. extension, yes. Okay, so if you right click on your HTML, okay, nothing like live server somewhere here, right? So that means you don't have it if nothing like that appears when you right click on your HTML file. So click on this icon here, this extension icon. I see this extension icon. Yeah, can you see it? Yeah, click on it. Yeah, inside here just type live server. Yeah, so I'm coming. There are two live servers there. Let me see. Install the one that has. Okay, no, it's not this one. Wait, I'm coming. Yeah, install the first one. The one by Retweak Day. Yeah, just install this one. Sorry, come again. No, can you see this first one appearing here? Hello? Okay, check. Yeah, come again. Are you online? Are you online? Are you connected online? Okay, tell me if you type live server, you should see the first extension you see there should be the one you install by Retweak Day. That's the name of the author. Yeah, just install it. Yeah, yeah, just click on install, and after install, it will tell you to reload. You can just reload it. Yeah. So what this extension does, it helps you run your JavaScript file. Sorry, run your sorry. Hello. Hello, Joshua. Can you hear me? I think my system is lagging. I can't hear you loud and clear. Hello? Okay. Have you installed it? Okay. We can go ahead. Okay, yeah, we can go ahead. So inside your HTML file, so Bukola, you can just create a script tag. You're familiar with this already, right? Is there anything that looks so foreign here? Okay, so you're familiar with the whole tags that you're seeing on the screen, right? So, okay, the metals. You mean these guys? Okay, so Joshua, so I gave this as assessment. So can you tell us? Okay, yeah, you're actually correct. So Bukola, hello, yeah. So these are like set of what do I call it, attributes that you give to HTML to render your files in. You know, so you can actually just jot it somewhere, and when you read about it, you understand better. You know, like you get a very good description of how it works. Okay, practically you may not actually see how it works, but when you read it, you can see it works mainly when you have other browsers like here. You're making sure that your content can also be displayed in that Microsoft Explorer. So these are like characters you can give, attributes you can give to your HTML file, for rendering, when they are rendering on the page. So just read about them. Just Google about the meta tags attributes, and you understand better how it works. Okay, so apart from that, yeah, apart from that, everything here looks familiar, right? The script tag. No, okay, though. Yeah, that's where we started. So I will remove it. That's our class for today. That's what we are talking about. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I will actually delete this. I'll delete this and I'll write it again. So I'll have my HTML tag right here. I'll change the title to intro to JS, and I'll just write a h1 here. So welcome to JavaScript. Okay, so we'll be writing JavaScript inside HTML. And to write JavaScript inside HTML, I mean, I can't just start writing console.log here. I mean, this is just going to be displayed on the screen as, of course, just a character, as a alphabet. It's not a code. So for you to work. Okay, so both of you, have you worked with CSS before? Even a little bit. Okay, I'm not working with CSS. Even a little. Sorry, a little. So if you have worked with it even a little, you can have inline CSS, external CSS, and internal CSS, right? As internal. So and if you're working with exactly, and if you're working with internal CSS, it's something like this where you have your style, right? And you can write your CSS here. Yes, that's it. You can write your CSS here. Am I not correct? I'm correct, right? Uh, may Sorry, come again. Okay, so if I want to give my body, so this is this something? Don't tell me I've forgotten JavaScript. Is this correct? Yeah, this is correct. No, no, I'm right. I know I'm writing CSS. It should be inside the head. This internal CSS. Yeah, I'm giving an example of internal CSS where the style will be inside the head, not inside the body. Yeah, that's this is internal CSS. Why this is inline CSS, where you have something like this, where you can now have background color of another color. So this internal, sorry, this inline CSS here, this internal CSS here, and external is when you have it somewhere outside here and you can link it inside your head. Are you familiar with this? Okay, so the same thing works with JavaScript. So you can also have internal JavaScript and external JavaScript. So to have external JavaScript, we can actually write it in the head, and we can also write it in the body. So I will give you two examples. I will give you two explanations why working with JavaScript on the head and also working with it on the main body. So after the body, so I can actually hide my JavaScript file here, and I can also have it here. So the difference between writing it inside the head and writing it inside the body is when your HTML file loads, okay, it will load this first before loading this. Control, yeah. So the first, sorry, okay, sorry, yeah, inside the head. Thank you. So the difference between these two here, writing JavaScript here and writing JavaScript here, is when this page loads, it will load the JavaScript I have here first before loading the rest of the program, which is here. Okay, so in programming, that's what we call, no, outside the body. It can be outside the body. Yeah. So in programming, that's what we call control flow. Control flow is the flow of how programs work. So program starts from the beginning to the end. So it starts executing from the beginning, just like from one, then it reads this, read that, and keep going. At least for now, that's all you should know. Later on we can see how we can actually not follow that pattern. When we get to advanced topics. Okay, but for now, this is how programs work. Programs start from the first and loads to the end. So if I have my JavaScript file here, and for example, inside JavaScript, I'm trying to manipulate a data that is here. So on this file loading, it will not see that particular object or element that I'm trying to manipulate here, because it has been loaded, and while it has loaded, it didn't see it. So this loads first and comes down here. Okay, but when you have the JavaScript file at the end, that's after the body, just right here, what it means is it loads your whole document first before loading the JavaScript. Mean that, okay, whatever you have here now, JavaScript file here, I can manipulate it. Okay, I'll give an example of this before this class ends. I will, so you understand better how it works. So, but for now, just write a script tag after your body. That's where we'll be writing our JavaScript inside HTML. And here I can write my normal JavaScript syntax, like console.log, and I'll say this is JavaScript inside HTML, for example. Okay, and to run this code, Bukola, you can run your HTML code, right? Sorry, I forgot how to use Sublime code, but you're familiar with that, are you? Okay, so they don't. I thought Sublime code has some extensions as well, don't they? Like extensions. Okay, okay, but don't worry. You can actually run it the way you know how to run it for now. maybe after this class you can install VS Code, or you can install VS Code along now. Just go to Google and type VS Code. You can see the install button, so download and install along, just as we are learning now. Before 5 minutes, it should install. Okay, but you can continue by running your code the way you used to run your normal HTML code before now. Okay, so for Joshua, you can just right click anywhere and you will see open with live server. Joshua, do you see that? Yeah, so just click on open with live server. So this extension will open this particular file on your default browser. You will see something like server is started at, but yeah, and it will open on your default browser. So why this extension is very helpful is, sorry, yeah, on your desktop, have you clicked on open with live server? Yeah, it will open automatically on your default browser. Have it opened? Yeah. Okay, you're on Windows. Yeah, allow. Click allow. Something firewall, right? Okay. Yeah, so it will open on your default browser. Okay, Bukla, have you opened? Bukla, have you opened yours? No, I mean, yeah, I mean, just work with your Sublime code. Yeah, just open the HTML file on your favorite browser. Sorry, Joshua, you said? Yeah, I think that's your default browser. So look at what you would do. Just copy the link that it opens on your Edge browser. Just copy the link. You can close your browser, then paste this link on your favorite browser you're using. Yeah, so that will work as well. Okay, so are we here? Okay, so the amazing thing about this extension for you, Joshua, book like you can open yours on Sublime Code, right? Okay, so just the amazing thing about this extension is it automatically refreshes itself whenever you make changes. Okay, for example, this is welcome to JavaScript, right? If I just go back to my editor and I change this to something else, maybe let's say JavaScript intro. Sorry? If I Exactly. So if I just go back to my browser, it has automatically refreshed and it made the changes. So I don't need to be refreshing over and over again. Yeah. So that's why I love the extension actually. So that's just the usefulness of the extension. Okay. So sorry. You mean when you make changes to your code? Yeah, you save. You should just leave this guy to auto save, so you don't have to be pressing Ctrl S over and over again. Yeah, just click on File. The auto save button. Yeah, just click it. So it will automatically be auto save. So you don't. Whenever you make changes to your code, you don't need to refresh. You don't need to make Ctrl S again. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if our code is actually running. This script tag we wrote here. Let's see if it's actually running. So back here, I'll just right click and click on inspect. Okay, yeah, just you can just use I just use save, or you just press Ctrl S. Bukola, are you with me? Yeah, just you can just do Ctrl S. It's the same thing as the save you have here. Then on your browser, right click and click on inspect. Just right click on the web page that open. Just click on inspect, or you can use the shortcut Ctrl Shift I. Then when your inspect environment opens, we call this developers environment. Yeah. Click on console. So on the console is where you can see the JavaScript that runs on your file. Yeah, it's working. So this is JavaScript. Sorry, this is JavaScript inside HTML is being printed. So that means our JavaScript file is being executed correctly on our HTML file. Are we on the same page? Are we on the same page? Okay, okay, beautiful. So let's learn some new things here. The alert in JavaScript. JavaScript has the alert method. So what does the alert method does? So just like the console.log, the alert method. Sorry, this should be all lowercase. The alert method. The alert method also. Sorry, let me come. Bukola, you the class you missed was last Wednesday, right? Hello. And last Wednesday we introduced JavaScript. Last Wednesday. Okay, but on Monday you were here on Monday. Okay, so you can remember everything we discussed on Monday about JavaScript, like creating variables, like using the console. Okay, okay. So let me just test our knowledge. So just tell me the things you have learned about JavaScript so far. Let me see. Just tell me the things you know about JavaScript so far. I mean, tell me the things you can do in JavaScript so far. Which which stuff? Which stuff? Come, sorry. Okay. But yeah, I can hear you. You say you installed what? Node.js. Okay. Okay, but you actually don't need Node.js to learn JavaScript. Okay. Okay. But I mean, based on our class on Monday, I gave you assessment. Did you do the assessment? No. Oh, oh. Okay. 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 So, okay. Maybe if you visit the assessment again, I think the assessment say we should do something on strings. I gave an assessment on strings. Creating variables as well is part of the assessment, and printing those variables you created is also part of the assessment. Okay, but maybe you can visit that assessment later and try to do it and send me the output when you are done with it. And you can also ask me questions if you don't understand anything on the assessment. Okay, you're welcome. So, but I will repeat most of the things we also talked about there. Well, I'll also repeat most of it here as well. Okay. Okay, so we use the console to log out information to our in JavaScript. So if you have Other programming languages, they can use, like Python uses print. So this is like printing something to the output. So you use console.log to print something to the output. So when you use the console.log, if I want to print a string, for example, because strings are in quotes, either single or double quotes, so I can actually put double quotes here. I can put single quotes here, and I can write something because this is a string, so I can write strings inside here. So like this is a string, and JavaScript will also print this in the console if I should open it, right? So this is a string. Beautiful, right? So we also discussed about variables, and I discussed about using the var keyword to declare variables. So how do you declare variables? I want to declare a variable called name in JavaScript. Joshua, can you help me? Hello, Joshua. So I want to declare a variable called name and give it a value. Can you help me? Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Vincent. Book. I don't know if I'm getting that correct. Let me just go with Vincent. Okay, so this is how to declare variable. Thank you, Joshua. Bukola, you're familiar with this from our last previous class on Monday. Okay. So this is how to declare a variable. So variables, you use the var keyword. You use the next thing that comes is the name of the variable. So if you were paying attention last Monday, or maybe you're forgotten, fine. But variables are like bosses. Just think about it like your closet. Where you have your clothes. So the name of the variable is your closet, and the contents of your variable is your clothes. Okay. So another example is your cup. So the name of your variable is a cup. For example, the name of my variable is a cup, and you use the equal to sign to uh, to assign value to the variable. So and maybe the content of my cup is water or coffee, or tea, whatever the name of the contents of the cup is. So this is how to declare variables. So variables, so you use the var keyword to show that this is a name and a variable be not example. So our variable can also have another data type of number. So I can actually have something like age is also equals to 19. Okay, so you can see here we have age 19. We can also have maybe var year to be equal to 2021, right? So we can declare variables using the var keyword, and we can give it different contents or data types. So variable can be a string data type. Variable can also be a number data types. Okay, integers. Okay. So this is how to declare variables in JavaScript. Is this well understood, Bukola? Okay. Okay. So we can also use the We can also use the console.log to print out the contents of our variables. For example, if I want to print out the content of name, I can also use console.log, and I can pass in the variable's name, which is name right here. So what will happen is, if I go to my browser now, I will see name being printed in the console. So I'll just go to my browser, and here you can see Vincent being printed to the console. Right, exactly. Okay, and part of the assessment, part of the assessment I gave was, I asked you to concatenate strings. Okay, so concatenation means, okay, so concatenation means joining two things together. That's concatenation. Okay, so for example, I can have a variable called number 1, which is equal to 10, and I have another variable called number 2, which is equal to 10. I can actually perform mathematical operations here. So I can do number 1 plus number 2. So I want to print the sum of number 1 and number 2 to the console. So if I go back to my browser right now, this will print 10, because that's the sum of 10 plus, so this should give us 20. Why is it giving us 10? This should give us 20 and not 10. This is number 1 plus number 1. This should give us 20. Why is it giving us 10? So Joshua, you say something. Okay, so why are we having 10 here instead of 20? So it's supposed to have, yeah, let me refresh. Okay, so it's 20. That's correct. It's supposed to give us 20, so it's giving us 20. Okay, so you can actually do this using numbers. Okay, you can do multiplications here. We can actually even add more things to it. You can also do plus 30. Okay, which should give us 50 now. If we should go back to the browser and refresh. Okay, this is lagging. That's why it's not so active. My system is lagging. It's running 4 things at the same time. I don't know why it's lagging. So we have 50. So we can actually do multiplication. We can do mathematical operations right here. So, but what about concatenating strings? Okay, so concatenating string mean, joining one or more strings together, where it's still the same thing. So for example, I want to print my name is, and I want to print name, which is the name I declared here to be Vincent, and I want to say, oh, I am 19 years old and I love tea. Okay, something like that. I can also put in, oh, welcome to 2021, for example. Okay, so let me do this. So I want to create a sentence. I want to create a string sentence using the variables I have here. So I can also do that using the plus sign. You can also do that using the plus sign to concatenate, to do your concatenation. So I can start, because this is a string, so I will do this. I'll start with I am, and I want to concatenate my name. So what I will do is come out of the double quote, put the plus sign, put the name of the variable, which is name, put another plus sign. So this is I am. This will print Vincent, right? And I can start with another string, and I'll say I love tea. Okay, so I have, okay, let me not use that. I'll say I am 18, I am 19, so my age will come here, and I'll use the plus sign again. I'll give a space here so it will be printed very well. So I'm 19 years old. Okay, so we can actually do this just this way. So if I should go back to the browser, this will print I am Vincent, which is a name, right? I'll give comma here, and it will continue. I am 19 years old. Okay, so this will print the strings to the console, including the number here. So because this is what we call concatenation in JavaScript, concatenating strings. Hello? Okay, I thought someone was asking a question. So this is what we call concatenation in JavaScript. So this will print exactly the way you concatenated it here on the browser. So let's go back to the browser. Exactly. So this will print I am Vincent. I am 19 years old. Okay, so this is what we call concatenation. You know, concatenating both strings and numbers, making use of strings and numbers together. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so let's learn something new today. This is actually what we treated on Monday and Wednesday. Okay, so let's learn some new things we can do in JavaScript. The prompt and the alert. I'll start with the alert. So JavaScript is for the website, so it's the programming language for the web, and it's used to create interactions between the user and the website. The alert keyword is a function in JavaScript that alerts wherever you put into it, just like the console does. So the console receives something and returns it back, right? It's a function. We'll talk about this later. We'll talk about what functions are, but know that functions are codes, or piece of code that accepts something, does something with it, and returns it back. Okay, so these are JavaScript functions, inbuilt functions. So they come with JavaScript itself. So they just the way the console was, the same way the alert was, but the difference is the console works only on the console, so it prints only on the console. It prints only on the console, right? Why the alert prints on the user interface itself. Okay, so the keyword alert, and I'll put a string here, says welcome to JavaScript. And if I go to my browser, I will see, if I refresh, sorry, I'll refresh. This is taking so much time to load. Okay, so if I refresh, this will print out to the, this will pop up to the console. Welcome to JavaScript. Right? Have you seen? You have seen this in the website before, right? Okay, so the alert keyword or the alert function is used to do stuff like this. I will stop my live server. It's taking most of my resources. I will right click and stop it, and I will load this file manually from here. So I'll just click open and load it from here. That is taking so much time. Okay, so I'll just load it manually. Okay, so on opening the site, the alert will pop up, welcome to JavaScript, and when you click OK, it goes away. Okay, so that's just the function that alerts. How can we use the alert? Okay, for example, we can actually be useful with it. I will comment this. So this is called comment in JavaScript or any programming language. Comment simply means the code, the piece of code that you don't want it to run. For example, I'm collecting a variable name, for example, called var name is equal to, or let me say username is equal to something, whatever the username is. Okay, and I want to put a comment somewhere here that this variable is holding the user's name. Like, comments are basically meaningful. They are reminders. It kind of tells you what is happening in particular place. So uh, I can do something like this. So you use the double slash for single line comments in JavaScript. Double slash that's for single line comments. So I can write something like this is the users. I don't know exactly what to write, but comments should be useful. They should explain what this part of line is code, the part of the statement you have is doing. So this is a var username. So you can say username. Okay, so it doesn't actually make sense here because your variable name, that's why you should actually give your codes, your variables, meaningful name. The name you give your variable should make sense. So like looking at the code, I don't need the comments here because it's well explaining that, oh, this is a username that this variable is holding. Exactly. So you don't actually need more comments here. So, but you can actually comment a code that you don't want it to run. That will be very useful when you are debugging things. Let's say you have you have written some code and you want to debug them. So you want to see what happens when this code is not running or when this other code is not running. So you can actually comment your code using the double slash. Okay, and the shortcut to doing that is you just right click on it. Sorry, not right click. You copy it. Just you highlight it, sorry, and you can press control slash. Okay, and this will comment it. So what this means is this piece of code here will not run because it's commented. The same thing with HTML. You can also comment your code. Just highlight it, or you can place your cursor at any point of any line on the line of the code you want to comment, and you can still press control slash and it will comment that code. So meaning that you have commented this code, I mean this code will not work. So this is how comment looks like in HTML, and this is how comments look like in JavaScript. Alright. So you don't actually need to write the comment by your hand. You can just use the shortcut control slash. It's still the same thing. Just highlight it and control slash. That's comments basically in every language. Just highlight and press control slash, or you can just place your cursor anywhere on the statement or the line of code you want to comment and still press control slash. You don't need to highlight it actually. Okay. So if I highlight this piece of code called alert, if I go back to my browser and refresh, you see that the alert will not run because I have commented it. So the JavaScript will not say it because it's being commented. So it's like, hey, don't run this piece of code, it's commented. That's what the comment does. Okay, so let's go ahead. So on Wednesday, I told us that I will show us other ways we can define variables. So let me list the things we'll be learning right here. Sorry, I'm coming. Okay, so this is what we called this still comment, but multi-line comment in JavaScript as well. This is multi-line comment. So when you want to write a very long comment that is not just in one line, this is what you just use. You open slash, then asterisk, then asterisk slash, which will close it, and you can write your comment inside here. So everything written inside here will not be executed. So so these are our class targets for today. So we'll talk about the difference between between var, the difference between var let and constant. Okay, that's the first thing. That's the next thing we'll talk about. Then we discuss about the prompt keyword in JavaScript, or the prompt function prompt. So we discuss about the prompts. Then thirdly, we discuss about collecting data. Okay, that's not yet. We have not reached that place now. Okay, yeah. When we discuss about the prompt, we can see how we can collect input from users using the prompt, and we can do something with users' input. Okay. So let's talk about the var. Let's talk about the var. We have been using the var to declare variables, right? So when I say something like var name is equal to Vincent, what if I say var name again is equal to let me say Precious, and I want to alert Precious. Let's be using alert now, because that's the latest thing we have learned, and I want to alert name. Okay, so can someone tell me the name that will be printed? What's the name that will be alerted on the front end? Okay, why? Exactly. So you are correct. So like I said before earlier, programming, this is how it's all called control flow. So program runs from beginning to the end. So when the program reaches here, oh, it saw name to be Vincent, but on line 29, it's seeing name now to be Precious. So if I'm printing name here, it will definitely print Precious instead of Vincent. Okay, so we can see that in action. If I go to my browser and if I refresh, this will print Precious. So this page says Precious, right? That's it. Exactly, because it has override the first variable that was declared. So this is a very big problem. You know, think about it logically. This doesn't make sense when you're working with, when you start writing programs that should do meaningful things. This becomes a very big problem. So you may forget that you have name somewhere already. Like you may forget that you have already declared name somewhere already, and you declare it again to have another value. So there will not be error. I mean, like, there is no error here. The program is working. But what happens is, logically, the program is not doing what you expect it to do. Okay, so what we call this is a global definition. So when you use the var keyword, you are defining the variable globally. I'll talk about this scope. This is what we call scope. I'll talk about it later on when we introduce functions. Okay, but know that when you use the var keyword with the same name, the same variable name, the last one will override the first one you have already declared. So in order not to run into a program like this, or into a problem like this, that's why let and constant was introduced in JavaScript ES6. The let keyword and the constant keyword. What's the difference between the let keyword and the constant keyword? Okay, I will show you the difference between these three in a moment. So let's talk about the let keyword. I will define another variable called full name to be Vincent Irole. I'll declare another variable called full name to be Precious. Ezema, for example, and I want to alert full name. So what do you expect will happen? Okay, okay, so let's see what will happen. Okay, so let's see what will happen. So this will actually give us an error, but let's see if that will happen. So I'll go to my browser and I will write refresh. Nothing comes out, right? Yeah, nothing comes out, but there's no error. But there is no error. If I go to my inspect on my console, there will be an error. So I'll go to my console. And there's an error here. Can you read the error for me, please? Exactly. So you see how useful the let keyword is. Because we have already declared a full name here. Logically, logically, you can't have two full name. You know, you can't have two variables having the same thing. So this is, oh, I have full name. So why are you declaring full name again? So JavaScript is being brilliant now, like because you have declared full name again before. It sees it as unlogical to have another full name, the same variable name, having the same, this is the same variable name. So you can't have two same variable names. It's not logical. Okay, so that's why it's saying an error. Oh, you have declared this before, so why declaring it again? Okay, but if the difference here is we can actually redeclare it if we remove the let keyword here. Okay, so if we are doing this, JavaScript understand that we have declared the let, we have declared full name before, but at this point, we want to redeclare it. So because we want to redeclare it, we are not using the let keyword. We're just using the variable name. So if I should go back to my browser, this will print Precious Ezema on the browser, because yes, we have declared full name to be Vincent Irole, but on line 33 we are redeclaring full name to be of another string. So JavaScript understands that's what we are doing here. We are redeclaring, and because we are redeclaring, we can actually go back here and this will print the last one we have, which is Precious on the browser. Does that make sense? Okay, now let's see how these two, var and let, differs from constant. So I will create another variable called constant. So I will say constant age, for example, is 19. And I will do another constant age is whatever, maybe 20. And if I try to print age, you should already know what is to happen. What will happen here? What will happen? Yeah, there will be an error. The same error we caught on when we use the let is the same error we are going to catch here. So if I go back here and refresh, I'm going to have an error here. The same error, age has already been declared. Exactly, that's the error we were expecting. But the difference between this and this is we can't redeclare when we are using the constant. It's a constant, it cannot change. So when you're using the constant keyword, whatever you are giving it, whatever value you are giving the constant cannot be changed later on. That's just the difference when you're using the var, the let, and the constant. So the difference here is using the var, you can redeclare and redeclare variable names or variables with the same name. You can redeclare them over and over again. So here name can be Vincent, here I can be Precious. I can even try to change it again, calling it another thing. Okay, so here var name can also be maybe Anita, for example. The list can go on, and when you print the last, it will print the last name here that it has overwritten. Okay, but using the let keyword, when you declare a variable name with the let keyword, you can't redeclare it, but you can reassign it. I don't know if you get the difference. Here you can redeclare it. You are redeclaring name to be of another thing. But here you can't redeclare it, but you can reassign it. So what this mean is, here I have full name, which is Vincent Yole, but here I want to change the value of full name to be Precious. But at this var, I have name as Vincent, but here I don't want to change name as Vincent. I want to declare name to be Vincent. These two different things. I'm not reassigning, I'm redeclaring. But when you're using the let keyword, you can't redeclare, meaning you can't just have another variable of full name, but you can reassign the value of full name you already have here to be of another variable, another value. Why you're using the constant, you can't redeclare and you can't reassign. So we can't even do this. We can't even do age to be 20. This will still give us an error. So if I go back to the browser and refresh, this will give us an error. Uncaught type error, assignment to construct variable. So this is an error. You can't redeclare it, you can't reassign it when you're using the constant. So anything you declare with constant remains constant, just as the name implies, a constant. So you can't redeclare it. It's what it is. So is this written is very clear? Okay, so if you have questions, you can interrupt me and ask me on this concept now. No questions so far? Okay, so from now onwards, we'll stop using the var keyword and we'll be using the let keyword and the constant keyword. So use the let keyword when the variable name can be reassigned another value. Use the constant keyword when the variable name and content cannot be changed. Just simple. That's just the difference. So forget about the var. Don't use the var on your codes anymore. So if you visit code bases, it will be difficult for you to see var of recent now. Okay, so the var keyword has already, is no longer in use in as much as I'm concerned. But you will see it. But it's, people don't use it anymore writing code, but you will definitely see it out there. So you will see more of the let and the constant when you're declaring variables. So it's very simple. When declaring variables that you can reassign the value later on, use the let keyword. But when you have a variable that can never be changed, use the constant keyword. Does that make sense? Okay, so that makes sense. So let's go to the next topic we have here, the prompts. The prompts. So we use the prompt to collect inputs from user. So if you have visited a website and you're asked to do, like enter something, you can actually enter something on, and collecting user data and doing something with it. Okay, so let's see how prompt works. So just type prompts and a message. So the prompt function collects a message. So I can type, I can ask a question. What is your name? Okay, so I will comment what we have here. I'll focus on the prompts now. So prompt, what is your name? So if I go to my browser and refresh, the page will come up with, oh, what is your name? I will type my name. I'll type my name and I'll press OK. And nothing happens, right? Yeah, nothing should happen. You didn't say anything to happen, actually. So, but the prompt allows you to collect information from the user. So, what can we do with the prompt? Let's be creative now. Let's create a simple mathematics calculator. Let's create a very simple calculator that collects two inputs from the user and gives them the solution. Just addition. Let's just do for addition. Okay. So with the prompt example I've given you now, Bukola and Joshua, I want you to help me to create a calculator. So you tell me what to do and I'll do it. So let's start. Go ahead. Yeah, that just do addition only. Based on the information the user gave. Sorry, come again. E. Okay, so can we use a more meaningful variable name? We are doing addition here. It's mathematics, so I mean the variable name should actually align to what we are doing. So I can go with number one. I can go with number one. Okay, okay, yeah, let number one. Yeah, your variable name cannot start with numbers, right? And it can't start with symbols either. So it only start with characters, or it can start with underscore. So we can have this to be number one to be equal to. Okay, so we want the information to come from the user. Just like your normal calculator, you input one and you press another one, right? Just like your normal calculator, I want it to be very dynamic. The user enters what they want to plus and we give them back the answer. No? Bukola, can you help us? Okay, just try. So just try based on what we have here. Sorry, let me cut this. Based on what we have here, I want us to think now. Based on what we have here, I'm coming. Based on what we have here, what does this? What happens when I go to my browser? What happens? So what happens? Prompt asks you for something, right? If I refresh my code, prompts ask for something. It says, what is your name? So that means the prompt keyword actually collects something. It collects something. Like if I type Vincent here, it collects Vincent. It collects it. But the problem is we just say prompt, meaning we are not storing whatever the prompt collected. Correct? So how can we store the name the user gives us? No, I'm coming. We'll still go back to the calculator. I want to clarify this here. Okay, so I want the user to give me his name or her name, and I want to okay, so this is what's going to happen. I want to collect two inputs from the user, their name and their age. Sorry, this should be how old are you. Okay, so I want to collect two inputs from a user. I want to collect their name and I want to collect their age, and then finally I want to alert by telling them welcome, their name, you are dash years old. Does that make sense? So how can we do that? Because prompt collects input, whatever the user typed. What can we do with whatever the user typed? How do we collect, how do we hold things that people, how can we save things, store things in JavaScript? Sorry? Okay, I think nobody is getting my question. So I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question. The prompt function or the prompt method stores can store if you want it to store. So the prompt method collects input from a user. So how can we store this input? That's my question. How can we store this input in JavaScript? How do we store inputs? I mean, how do we store anything at all? No, console.log gives something back. It doesn't store. So how do we store? How do we store? We just talked about it now. Like that's what we'll be doing all this while. How do we store something? We can declare what? Exactly, that's what I'm looking for. We store things in variables. Don't forget what variables are. What are variables? Exactly. So variables hold data. That's what they do. They hold data. Exactly. So your corp is holding a data. The data is holding is a t. Variables hold data. So we can actually, yeah, they're like containers that hold data. So if prompt can actually collect something from the user, what can we do with it? We can hold it and we can do something with it, right? Meaning we can have a variable here. Sorry, I'm not using this again. Meaning I can have a variable here called name to be equal to this, right? So what this means is whatever the user entered as his name automatically will be stored inside name. Name will hold whatever the user entered. It's just as simple as that. So I'll also do that for age. I'll just change this to age. So whatever the user entered here as well will be held by the age variable. And lastly, I can tell the user I can say hello, and I can print the user's name. Hello name. Hello name, which is the user, whatever user entered. Hello name, right? And I can say I can just say this for now. So you are, I want to tell the user how old they are. I can put name, age here. Okay, so now this can print hello, the whatever user enters as the name, and you can tell them you are the age they entered, years old. Does that make sense? Let's try this. So if I should go back here and refresh my browser, the first prompt will come out and ask me what is your name, and I will say Vincent Irole, and I'll click OK. The second one will come out and ask me how old are you, and I will say 19, and I'll click OK. And it will print out something. Hello Vincent Irole, you are 19 years old. Does that make sense? Okay, so with this knowledge, I want us to create a calculator. I want us to create a calculator that adds two numbers together. Two numbers entered by the user together and give them the answer. So Bukola and Joshua, help me out. What's the first thing I should do? You just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So calculator that adds two numbers together. Okay, I create a variable. What's the name of the variable? Okay. I'm listening. And I can ask them to enter first number, right? And I can also do that. I can also do that for num2, and ask them to enter second number. Okay, so they have done that, and we have saved whatever they entered here. So what can we do with it? So actually I want to save the value. I want to save the sum of num1 and num2 in a variable. Okay, so I will have another variable here called sum, which will be equal to what? Somebody tell me. Okay, no. Okay, no, we are not giving. So sorry, we are not giving the, exactly, that's what we are looking for. We are still doing the calculation. We are not giving them back the answer yet. Okay, Bukola, are you with us? Okay, so they have entered, let's say for example 10 here, right? And they have entered maybe 20 here. Okay, so we want JavaScript to do the calculation, which is summing number1 and number2, which is the two variables they have entered, right? So we can actually just say num1 here plus num2. Bukola, does it make sense? Okay, so sum here. Sorry? Okay, no, we have not. We are still on the program. We have not given them back the answers yet. So we are just saving. We are just saving the calculation in sum. So sum is now holding number1 plus number2. So we can actually alert here, or we can actually console. Okay. So so let's use the alert here. So we can just use alert and say num1. So I'll put this in a string actually. Okay. Let me not put it in a string. I can put it like this. Sorry, come again. Yeah, we can alert sum. This will just print the answer of sum to the browser. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so I don't know who will be watching this video later on. You know, it may be someone that's already experienced with JavaScript. I thought because I'll be uploading it to YouTube, so everybody can access it. This is technically wrong. What we are doing here, I'll tell us in a bit, but let's see this in action first. I'll come back here. I'll refresh my code. Okay, sorry, I didn't change this. Let me cancel this. Okay, this is actually I have to sorry, this is running the first code here. I'll comment this. Yeah, so we just want to execute this line of code. So I'll go back to my browser. I'll refresh. Cancel, I'm coming. Cancel. Okay, so I'll refresh my browser. So it will ask me to enter first number or enter 10. I'll press OK. It will ask me for the second number. I'll enter 10. Surprisingly, this is not going to give us 20. Oh. Any doubt? Let's see. I'll press OK. This will give us 10. Yes, that's exactly what it should give you. 10. Now, why? That's the question. Why? Let's go back to the code. So what prompt does is prompt collects only strings. Are you with me? Yeah, so whatever is entered inside prompt automatically is a string. Are you with me? Yeah, so even when you are working with forms, so whatever you enter inside a form is a string. Okay, so behind the scene, you can actually convert these strings to number. Exactly. Okay, let me show you. There are so many ways of converting strings to number and numbers to string. Okay, one way of doing that, which is very, very simple, is to add the plus sign in front of the string, and automatically it will become a number. I hope I'm correct. Let me try that. So it asks me to enter first number. I'll enter 20. Press enter. It will ask me for second number. I'll enter 20. I want it to give me 40, and it gave me 40. Anybody with me? So that is exactly how to that's the one way of converting strings to numbers. One way. Okay. Your assessment is to find other ways of converting strings to numbers. I've shown you the most easiest way of converting strings to numbers. You just add plus in front of the string, and automatically it becomes a number. Does that make sense? Okay, so you can see we're able to so here we can see we're able to create a very simple calculator that collects two numbers together and plus it and give the user an answer. Awesome. Ask me questions. Bukola, do you have any issues on the code? Okay, is it not working? Okay, Joshua, do you have question? Okay, so everything we taught today is well understood, right? Okay. Uh, if there is no more question, this will actually be the end of today's class. Yeah. Bukala, is he working now? Is working. Okay, so I'm going to give assessment right here. Let me write the assessment here so I will not forget it. So here is the assessment. So the first assessment is to create a simple HTML page. HTML page about yourself. That's the first assessment. Create a very simple HTML page about yourself. The second assessment is find other ways. Find other ways of converting strings to numbers and vice versa, converting numbers to string as well. So find a way of converting strings to numbers and converting numbers to strings. So if I have a number, if I want to convert it to a string, find a way of doing that. Then also find a way of converting strings to number. Other ways apart from the way I've shown you here already. So this is one way of doing it. Find other ways of doing it. Okay. Then lastly, I want you to write a block. Yeah, converting strings to numbers and converting numbers to string. Then lastly, I want you to write a blog post about the following. So write a blog post about the following variables. Write a blog post about variables. Difference. Difference between the var, comma, let, comma, and constant. Yeah, write a blog post about the following, about variables. Don't worry, I'll also post this on the group chat. So you write a blog post on the following variables. The difference between var, difference between let, and the constant. And you also write about the alert, and of course the prompt. Okay, so that would be the assessment. So I'll post it on the Slack, on the WhatsApp group, and also on the Slack channel. Okay, so that will be end of the class. If you have questions, you can ask me. Yeah, to the video, right? Sorry, come again. Yeah, I will. I will do that. Yes, I will do that. Yeah. So have a nice day. Yeah. Bye bye.